Today we're taking a look at the Flugabwehrkanonenpanzer Gepard. I think that's how you say it. It features twin 35mm autocannons, tracking radar up front, and a searching radar in the back. If I remove a Lego disc piece from the back, then I can fold back the searching radar and stow it in the back just like it does on the real vehicle. And to put it back up, I just reinsert that little disc and it sits up nice and straight. Near the front base of the turret there are smoke launchers. On the front of this was a random sticker of a cheetah, which is so appropriate because that's what Gepard means, cheetah. Here's a hatch on top of the turret. So as is my style, to show you how this went together, I'm going to take it apart. You can see they're actually connected together with a rod piece. We'll look at those. We'll look at one of these separately later. I'm going to go ahead and pull the turret off. This is much like the Leopard 2 AV I made recently. I basically kept the same architecture that I had for the chassis from the skirts down. I changed the camouflage up a little bit and I modified the back and actually the front too. But once you lock down a tank chassis, then you can build all the variants. A note about the camouflage. You see how I'm trying to keep like diagonal striations of the colors. This is supposed to be 3 colors. These smooth pieces are actually by Kobe. I don't have a chocolate brown to match the Lego brown, so that's why these don't quite match. I also didn't have the right chocolate wing type pieces. Like I have one that's 4 studs long, but I didn't have any that were 3. So, but anyway, with the camo, I tried to wrap and do colors contiguously and wrap them over where I can. That's where most of the time is in building this model or models like these, is working out all the details of the how the camo works. It's a lot easier if you have a solid color, but to be honest, I don't have enough of any single solid color to make this work, so the camo is in my benefit, or it's to my benefit. I'm just using a simple turntable here. This brown piece is broken here, but I can hide it underneath. Oops. Check it out. It just broke on me. For whatever reason, Lego chocolate brown is super brittle. Notice that with gold too. This is a really good piece to have for things like this. It's got a nice narrow profile, wedge profile. Okay, to create this slight setback, the secret there is to use these centering type pieces all along here, and to use single stud row so you can they'll fit nicely on these underneath side pieces. Here's one of the fenders. That's what that looks like. Now you're starting to see the secret of how the treads are being held down in there. There's also kind of a side profile view of how the front armor is sloped. There's a bit better look. So let's move on to the front. There's a hinge piece that allows the front armor to slope. See a little better there. Underneath is another series of other hinge type pieces. Let's move to the back. You can see I have this back piece is sloping up. There's a hinge piece in there behind it. We'll get to it. Notice how overall the body is an odd width. It's 11 studs across, but the main upper part of the body is 10 studs across. And again, that's done by using these centering pieces. And I have to do juggling like that at the back too, to get the back end to work out the way I need it to, between odds and evens. Oops. Okay, there's a look at the corner and how these engine vent pieces go. And they're actually just floating. These can actually slide back and forth however they need to. So you can adjust those where they're going to need to be. This hinge piece is hidden under there. That's what allows these back quarter panels to float or to angle. Okay, now hidden inside there, you can see where this back panel is hinged. I also want to point out that this hinge piece is actually mounted sideways. It's laying on its back. And pull this off. These back panels and these back pieces. And again, you're starting to see that the treads are hiding under there and they're being held down. These tracks are a good substitute if you don't have enough Lego tracks or you don't have the right size. If you look head on, you can see they're actually splayed a little bit, and that's because they actually flex and they come a little bit inbound to allow for the skirts to hang on the outside. I'll show you how that's being captured. There. You can see this piece is holding the tread from the top and it's being sandwiched underneath by this smooth piece. Here's more evidence of the offsetting that's going back and forth in the back. So it's kind of a tricky dance of even odd type of deal. But once you get it worked out, then it's all good. take a quick look at the bottom. For more info on how I put the chassis together and another view on it, check out my Leopard 2AV video. And again, you can see how it's being sort of snugged in, sandwiched in right there. All right, we're going to set the chassis aside. That's as far as I'm going to take the chassis. Hopefully you have a good idea of what's going on there now. The biggest secret to the autocannons is that it's made out of a light pole. That's what that main piece is in there. And you can see how it's built by looking at the back. And I did all kinds of prototypes of this. It was really tricky. I'll fold this away and I'll fold that away so you can see a little better what's going on in there. And again, this is some kind of light pole piece. It was in a box from a generous donor. The turret was another really tricky item. First, I'm going to pull off the radar. Here's a look at that. It's actually made out of these little fenders you typically see on like little ATV kits. I did a lot of studying with that, with the radar too, so here's some other ideas. Find one that works for you. The one I went with is the one I like the best. The base is made out of these 4 quarter circles. This, of course, is the hole that the rod that holds the guns goes through. All right, first I'm going to pull this piece off. And I'll pull this side piece off. Here's a view of what's going on inside there. These smoke grenade launchers or these smoke launchers are just little binoculars. The piece that holds up the radar, it's just got a little tiny stud through it. Pull that off. And here's the other side. Here's what we're left with. And there's a close-up of the searching radar. There's actually a rod going through to hold the 2 sides in. Okay, well that wraps up the build of the Gepard. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I did building it. And I want to thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss another riveting episode. Thanks a lot, y'all. Bye.